We see students in a basketball court doing physical exercise. A bully named Sachion throws the ball to hit his mates. He then targets a female when a timid boy surprisingly catches the ball. He lifts the ball to the sky to throw it when golden lightning is seen around the ball. The ball is thrown towards a bully as it grazes the cheek of the bully. It flies beside the bully at top speed and hits the wall, causing a hole in it. The boy looks at his hand, surprised by the throw. Let's take this to the beginning. 11400 years after the Monkey King was released by Buddha, we see the Yakshas tormenting evil spirits in the second hell. Just then, Ursula, a powerful entity, causes a rift in the atmosphere and enters hell. The Yakshas go to fight Ursula as he draws a sword using his power. He swings his sword which cuts through the thick bodies of the Yakshas and frees the evil spirits. We see the Monkey King, also known as Sun Wukong, flying at top speed on his cloud. He gets to heaven and meets the Supreme Emperor. The Emperor tells Wukong about the situation in the second hell, and he asks Wukong to help capture the evil spirits. Wukong refuses to do it until the Emperor hails him as the strongest and handsome Monkey King. Wukong accepts as he heads to Earth. He tears some of his hairs as they transform into copies of himself. He asks them to find the evil spirits as they leave. Wukong sees a young student with a low spiritual energy to possess. This is to prevent the evil spirits from sensing him. The student is hit with a phone by a bully. The bully named Sachion tells the boy to get him a new phone since the old one is broken. Wukong comes behind the boy as he possesses him. Lightning sparks around the boy when Sachion moves back. The boy opens his eyes as it turns into a golden color with Wukong's aura around him. He snaps back to reality when Sachion holds him by the neck. Sachion leaves him and goes away. We see the Emperor talking with the goddess of compassion to help find Wukong because his presence had disappeared. It turns out that Wukong is trapped in a human's body for now, but will be stronger when he awakens. But before that, his spiritual energy might be transferred to the human, causing Wukong to disappear. This brings us to the beginning of the story. After the destruction of the wall by the boy possessed by Wukong named Hezion, he is punished and is asked to bring forth his parents. He was approached by a female named Haiju. Heizong didn't know her, which caused her to be disappointed. We see the goddess of compassion on Earth streaming online about evil spirits. She tells her viewers that the evil spirits talk to their hosts like a friend before completely possessing them. The viewers do not believe her when she pulls her hand through the screen of her visors to scare them. We see Haiju at the bus station. She hears a voice as she is scared. She brushes it off as we see a face at the back of her head. She gets home and we see that she lives alone. She sits on her bed and cries for being alone. Hazion's mother comes to school the following day as she pays for the broken wall. Sachion has been criticized by the teacher for bullying the students. It seems that one of the students from his class reported him. He comes to class and asks for the culprit. He beats up a boy saying that he wouldn't stop until the culprit reveals him or herself. Heizong takes the blame, but Sachion doesn't buy it. Haiju admits it as she is threatened by Sachion. She sits scared as the evil spirit reveals itself and possesses her fully. Heizong looks at Haiju when his eyes turns gold. He is able to see a black spirit going inside Haiju. We see Haiju alone in the classroom during break time. She grins in a sinister way, eluding a dark red aura around her. We see Heizong and Hina talking during break time. Sachion calls his boys to beat up Haiju after school. We see Haiju after school. A female part of Sachion's gang intentionally bumps into Haiju. Haiju understands the situation and follows them to the alleyway. Hazion and Hina see this and decide to follow. They turn around and realize Haiju and the gang were already gone. The gang try to intimidate Haiju when she smiles. A guy gets angry and punches her. Haiji gets up again as the boy decides to attack once more. A shadow hand comes out of Haiji's back as she uses it to pierce the guy's stomach. She lifts her face up and shows a scary look. Haezong is seen walking home with Hina. He gets a sudden headache and goes on his knees. He turns around with his eyes glowing gold and runs as if his body wants to. The evil spirit blocks the girl among the gang and tears her apart. She grabs another guy and squeezes him with her shadow hands. Haezong runs faster when a cloud suddenly follows him. As if he knows what to do, he jumps on the cloud and moves faster. Just when the last gang member was about to be killed, Haezong appears and is horrified by sight in front of him. The evil spirit grabs Haezong and plans to crush him. It's not able to crush him as Haezong's eyes turns gold. He tears the shadow hand as the evil spirit screams. The spirit kills the last gang member and attacks Haezong. Haezong dodges all the attacks and punches through the hand attacking him. The evil spirit asks him what he was as Haezong raises his guard. We see the goddess of compassion have a headache as she senses both energies of Wukong and the evil spirit. The evil spirit manages to grab Haezong's leg and slams him on the buildings. The spirit crushes Haezong as he screams in pain. Just then, a light emerges from Haezong's body as his bone starts to heal. He pulls a small stick from his ears as it turns into a staff. He uses the staff to strike the chest of Haiji, pushing the spirit out of her. The spirit sees the spiritual form of Wukong behind Haezong as it gets scared. Haezong uses the staff to cut the spirit into pieces. He then uses fire to destroy the spirit. The spiritual energy of Wukong starts to explode in Haezong when the goddess of compassion gives him a special water. Haezong wakes up by Haiji's side. They talk for a while as friends as Haiji starts to cry because she had always been invisible to people. The police come to the crime scene to see murders. The inspector tells his men to keep the details of the situation hidden from the public. Haezong wakes up from bed abruptly when his mother hears him. She hurries to his room as he tells her he had a nightmare. She sighs in relief as she closes his door. Haezong stands in front of his mirror and tells himself that he looks handsome, just like how the Monkey King would behave. He comes back to his senses after he feels a sudden boiling heat in his heart and chest. We see the goddess of compassion with her viewers online. She is talking to her viewers when we see Hina watching. She invites Haezong to watch when he also starts to believe the things said in the video, based on his experiences recently. Hina holds Haezong's cheek and tells him that he looks very handsome. We see a sword energy suddenly cut a deer's head off. We see that it came from Ursula in the cave. Ursula senses a spirit's energy, but lost it when Haezong destroyed it. He calls on a serpent spirit possessing a young girl and asks it to investigate. We see that the serpent spirit was weak because its host was poisoned. Due to this, it killed the host's parents and drank their blood. The evil spirit is seen walking outside as it suddenly grows a ton. A neighbor calls the host's name, which is Sarah, as the evil spirit ignores them. It gets to the crime scene and uses its power to sense the presence of Haezong and Haiju. A policeman comes and tells her to exit the place, but the serpent spirit gets mad and turns its head 180 degrees. We see the police on the ground dead, as its bones have been twisted backwards. The serpent spirit reports this to Ursula and goes into the school. It ignores Hina, who was Sarah's friend. It sees Haezong when Haezong's eyes activate. The serpent spirit posed as Sarah asked Haezong to meet him after school. The spirit leaves when Haezong remembers the face of Sarah he saw when she was talking to him. The serpent spirit goes to a cafeteria and starts removing Sarah's memories from itself. The salespersons there see the move similar to what the goddess of compassion taught them. Haezong enters not long after when the spirit gets up and goes away because the memories keep coming. It turns out that Sarah's parents were part of an occultic religion headed by a fake leader pretending to be a god. They served Sarah poison from the fake leader instead of taking her to the hospital when she was sick. The serpent spirit plans to kill the leader to free herself of the memories. We see the spiritual leader in the church. He goes to his chambers and asks his assistant to bring a girl to satisfy him. Sarah enters the room and her hair starts to levitate. It pierces the body of the leader as he is slammed to the ground and lifted up. Haezong and the goddess of compassion meet outside the church. They hear screams inside. Haezong runs inside as we see the serpent spirit killing the followers. Haezong gets inside and sees a completely different creature instead of Sarah. The serpent spirit uses its hair to attack Haezong as he dodges all of them. He grabs some of the hair and tears off. The hair turns into snakes as Haezong gets freaked out. The serpent spirit turns the Tor snakes into a giant snake as it wraps around Haezong, crushing him. A golden light comes around Haezong as he tears through the snake's body. He calls out his staff as we see the spirit of Sun Wukong standing behind Haezong with an angry look. We see the serpent spirit also in its true form as they begin their last battle. Like and subscribe to the channel to get the next part of this video.